New era of Chicago Bears football has begun after drafting who some people call Mahomes 2.0. Again, 2.0 doesn't mean better, it just means updated. Caleb Williams, and who some people are calling
updated
AJ Green 2.0, Rome Odunze. Here's Odunze on their potential. Take a listen.
With Caleb throwing the ball, there's so many different avenues of the offense that we can explore, especially with the wide receiver core with such versatile receivers. There's no limit to what we can do. So, I'm super excited to dive into the playbook and unlock the master plan that they're going to have for us.
All right, Greg, start with you. Is there any chance, barring injury, take injury out of it, that the Bears underachieve this year, in your opinion?
No. Yeah. There's no chance.
So what does that mean? Playoffs?
This team, they can make the playoffs.
Win at least as long as if they win,
they will be in position to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Based off of what I saw last year, the moves that they made with getting Sweat and then their defense and the trajectory that their defense or the jump that their defense made, offensively they could never really get into a rhythm and get going. However, when you insert Caleb, assuming no injuries, you got to believe he's going to be able to get those guys the ball. You got Keenan Allen, you got Cole Kmet, you got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. You obviously got DJ Moore. Rome Odunze, a guy who he's coming in with, which I love that they paired a quarterback and receiver so they can grow together. They're going to come in believing in one another and wanting to make sure that each other thrive. And he's coming in with something to prove. I know he's drafted 1 overall, but when you ship out a quarterback that you drafted in the first round and you tell your entire fan base, nope, this is our savior. He's coming in and you have everyone kind of doubting and questioning, well, are you really going to do that to this guy and what have you? He's going to come in to prove that they are right and to make sure that he changes everything about what the Chicago Bears have been.
Brew, before you go, can I say your first sentence for you? I like Caleb, but now go ahead.
That was going to be in there.
Okay, I knew it was going to be in there. Go ahead.
I'm saying this to the Chicago Bears and you too.
Okay.
Do less. Do less. Say less. All right, we got the quarterback talking about immortality. Talking about chasing Tom Brady. We got the receiver talking about there's no limit. Really?
Yeah.
Do less. Yes, there is a possibility, and I do like Caleb, but there is a possibility that they underachieve. Greg, this is all on Caleb. It might not be fair, but when you're the #1 pick and you're the prodigy from college onward, if not high school, this is what it is. They have everything else. I agree. The defense obviously looked good at the end of last season. You got a heck of a receiving core. You got DeAndre Swift as a running back. The line's not bad. It's on Caleb, and I think there are going to be some growing pains. I think it's easier for a quarterback that steps in that is kind of a on-platform guy than an off-platform guy to step right into the NFL. And I think when you look at, I think growing pains are coming. And then that division, is Detroit going somewhere?
No, but I don't think
is Green Bay going somewhere?
Thing about
and Minnesota is much like the Bears, right? Where they got some pieces.
So here's why the division doesn't concern me as much as does you. I do think that Detroit's very good, and I think Green Bay could be very good because of their offenses. I don't think there is a.
He thinks Green Bay could be very good. He had Dallas Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, and the Green Bay Packers demolished the Cowboys.
I don't think there's a top 12 defense in the division. I don't think Detroit's an excellent defense. I don't think Green Bay's an excellent defense. I know Minnesota's not. And I don't think Caleb needs to be great for this team to win 10 games. I think if Caleb has the 14th best season of starting quarterbacks, this is a double-digit win team because of the weapons around him. And we can show you real quick, Greg. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen last year.
Yes.
So now assume Keenan's going to go down because he's getting older. But now you also add in Rome Odunze to that. And DJ was doing that with Justin Fields playing quarterback with respect to Justin.
And what we're forgetting is last year this team was second in rushing offense.
Yeah.
That's the quarterback's best friend. to be able to turn
Well, a lot
around
of
and run the
those
ball.
Well, was that
are
Justin Fields?
Yes.
I totally understand that. But Caleb can get out and scramble. He's not Justin Fields, but they're going to run the ball. I like
Listen,
to
I'm
see
just
it.
y'all saying there's no possibility. of them
What I'm
underachieving.
saying is, and I probably should have said this at the beginning, I think there is a better chance the Bears are playing in the conference championship game than the Bears are bad. I think that.
Okay. It's a bold statement. Let's unpack it. Okay. So listen, at first when I brought up this clip and I could see the quote that says no limit to what we can do, I rolled my eyes. And I was like, oh my God, they are just talking too much. Just stop. Oh my God, stop. Kind of like what Bruce said, do less, say less. But then when I saw the interview, I go, okay, no. He came from a more humble place, just excitement, like, all right, like this is happening. Like it was definitely like a more earnest, like, hey, there's no limits to what we can do. Like it was more of like a, boyish excitement, quite honestly, is how I perceive that. Not like, that's right, the league hasn't seen nothing to us. I'm always concerned of that perspective, of that mentality. I do think that the Chicago Bears absolutely can make the playoffs and do very well. I really, really do. And I understand what Nick's saying is that this team was already pretty good, but just Justin Fields couldn't get it together. And that if you add now a quarterback as good as Caleb Williams, this team should be legit. And Caleb Williams doesn't even need to ball out because it's not all on Caleb Williams' shoulders. And I agree because they have a great team to support him. My only concern is the coaching, especially the OC. I think it's competent. So I think if you make the argument that the Chicago Bears only have to be competent and they'll be able to make the playoffs, then I think that's totally fair. I really, really do. Because I do think that it's competent. It's not a disaster here. But again, everybody wants to point to C.J. Stroud and the Texans, and they don't want to acknowledge that they have a great head coach and a great OC that was able to put all of these pieces together. That's what you have to ask your question with the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears roster is legit and is awesome and is great. And so I'm really excited to see what happens this coming season. And I really think they can. I mean, I'd have to sit there and do the math and see which teams get bounced in terms of, who wins the division, wild card, and all of that. But they absolutely can win double digits. Absolutely. So, chances Bears fall flat this season. What do we mean by flat? It's like, how are we defining flat? I think for the Bears, though, to me, this is the way it really comes down to it. If they start off strong, then I do believe that they can just rip off win after win after win. That they will be feeling themselves. It'll be Caleb fever. No difference than like when a random backup quarterback gets in there and rips off like 5-6 wins and everyone starts losing their mind. Minshew madness, all that type of stuff. Fitzmagic. Like, I can see that happening with the Caleb Williams if they hit the ground running. But if they run into some strong adversity early on in the season, like maybe they get blown out that first game, or the first game they win, but then they drop 2, I could see that spiraling because I don't trust the coaching staff to manage that. But if they get off hot and everything is going and they're firing at all cylinders, then I could see the Chicago Bears just ripping off and taking the league by storm. Caleb taking the league by storm and it just being this high-powered offense that's just like, whoa, what is going on? But I think you got it, for the Chicago Bears to be able to do that, they have to be hitting the ground running. I think momentum, I don't even want to call it momentum, because I think momentum is sometimes a little overused in sports. I think it's more confidence. I think Caleb Williams has the potential to struggle with self-doubt. I think he's very confident in himself, but a lot of times when people are really confident, they do it in a way to combat their self-doubt. And again, I love Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams will definitely be a star in the NFL. I really, really do. But I just think that it's just, you need to be careful how you get the start off of this season. Once upon a time, Justin Fields was really confident. And now, just look at him and he looks shook to his core. That's what the NFL can do to you. You could feel like you are unbeatable. Justin Fields gave an interview on a podcast last season and said that he's like one of the best running quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Caleb Williams is in that arena or is talking like that, because I've defended almost everything. that Caleb Williams has said that people have criticized him for. So again, if you're a Chicago Bears fan and you're watching this, do not take this as me saying anything bad about the Bears or negative about Caleb Williams. It's just saying that when you are such an outspoken person or you have such a big personality like Caleb does, your sense of confidence can get shook. It's usually the quiet ones that are usually the more confident one. You know, Patrick Mahomes is wildly confident, and he does not talk that much relative to what we hear out of some of these other quarterbacks' mouths. Whether it's Joe Burrow, whether it's, like a Justin Fields. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just different, especially early in his career. You know, you didn't really hear Patrick Mahomes say, I'm about to take over the league. You know, I'm going to pass Tom Brady. And I'm not saying Caleb Williams is saying that, but I'm just saying it's just, you got to be careful. When you're really positive and high up, there's the possibility for you to swing really low. And we technically saw that. Caleb Williams, we saw that in college. And again, I defend him going to his mom and crying and be emotional. Like, I defended that. People were like, that's so bad. He's not a real man, not a real leader. You really want to draft that? And I was like, okay, get over yourselves, guys. Like, what are we talking about here? And I defended that. I defended his clothing, his nail polish, the phone. None of that means anything to me, truly. But when you do swing emotionally, when everything is really high, you have the potential to swing really low. I'm an incredibly emotional person, especially when I was playing real competitively. And so my highs were highs and my lows were lows. And as I got older and matured, my highs weren't as high, but my lows weren't as low. And because of that, I became significantly better. I was a better athlete, a better competitor. And so I think that is some of the things that Caleb Williams will most likely have to learn. So that's why if he gets punched in the mouth too soon in the NFL, too early, I think that could cause some unraveling throughout the season. And you have to see what his schedule looks like. I'm really curious. I think that's going to be released next week or so. But if they can get some momentum going and hit the ground running, I think they will have great success. I really, really do. It just to me, it all depends on how early they can get, everyone feeling comfortable. And to me, that is all on the OC. The OC his job is to not be like, we're going to unleash Caleb Williams. It's how can we make Caleb comfortable? How can we reduce mistakes? We don't need him to do all the fancy stuff just now. That will come. Let's just minimize mistakes. Let's just make sure he's comfortable. Let's get him easy throws. Let's establish the run game. Let's get some good defense so he doesn't have to win a shootout and score 35 points just to win the game. Let's just make things easier. That's what they do for Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid kicks field goals. Andy Reid has Patrick Mahomes, and yet he's not going for it every single fourth down like, say, the Detroit Lions. The goal is to make it easier. The Bills were able to win better when they were able to make it easier for Josh Allen. Run the ball more, not make him throw. Dak Prescott, they win more games when he throws less. Make it easier for your quarterback. And sometimes when you have a quarterback who's as amazing as Caleb Williams or even Patrick Mahomes for that matter, they just want to, lean on him. And that's how you break. That's how you break, seriously. So I'm really, really curious to see what happens with the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams, because I do believe they will play great and that they will have a ton of success. But there is that caveat that if they face some pretty strong adversity early on, like they get blown out, it's like a 28-0 game and Caleb throws 3 interceptions, I could see that causing some problems, some trouble. But if they hit the ground running and they're winning some games, winning even some close games at the beginning, then I could actually see, like I said, it would be similar to me as like, a backup quarterback going in and everyone's just like, this is insane. Who is this guy? Although everyone obviously knows who Caleb Williams is. So those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. Do you think there's any chances that the Bears fall flat this season? And how do you think Caleb Williams will play? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. And I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.